and 1 low 4th, 2025, and the news begins right now.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And we've got a lot to get to this morning, but we want to get right to a check of the Storm Tracker forecast. And, chilly, really chilly yesterday coming into work. A little bit warmer today. Bigger warm up on the way, but that has some concerns in it. Fill us in, what's going on?
Yes, not only just warm, but also rain moving in, and there's concern for flooding due to the snowmelt and everything like that. And of course, that's a deal when you get to the end of winter and eventually early spring with all that snow melting. But out there right now, there's no snowmelt early today. It's a cold start. We are below freezing, temperatures in the 20s, wind chills in the teens, so it's not nearly as cold in some spots. Matter of fact, it's a 40-degree wind chill difference up in the Adirondacks compared to yesterday. Matter of fact, it's actually raining, or either that or freezing rain out in Buffalo as we speak, and we'll show the reason why in a second. So the radar is entirely dry here locally all across central New York. Zooming out though, we're going to be seeing the passage of a brief shower or flurry for, say, 15-20 minutes as it passes over us. This is a warm front, so although some of you might see snowfall and wonder if it's going to be a change of, at least a change in the colder direction, this will be a bit different. It'll actually warm up following that front. Notice here, it moves in the mid-morning, and we'll see those temperatures begin to climb from the 30s up into the mid-40s by this afternoon. So a thaw is on the way today, and as Steve mentioned, even warmer days are ahead, but that comes with some rainfall and a good amount of rain. We have a look at how much we can expect and the concerns regarding the potential for flooding in that forecast in the minutes ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. And new this morning is Eric.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. The time now is 5:13, and heading out the door today, well, aside from a passing light snow shower and rain shower later on this morning, most of the day is actually looking pretty dry and more on the mild side come the mid to late afternoon. But at least early today, it's a cold start. Temperatures below freezing in the 20s, wind chills in the teens, and dry roadways across the board, which is the main story today. You should have no issues driving out to work this morning. The traffic tracker, again, picking up a lot of green. A few slowdowns in hilltop locations, but as we get more traffic data coming in the next hour, we'll likely see a lot of this turn over to more green colors than not. But again, the radar right now looking mainly quiet. To our west is where we are tracking a warm front, which will bring with it the arrival of a brief rain or snow shower, depending on elevation. But again, in the morning hours, heading to work between 6 to 8 a.m., things looking mainly quiet with partly sunny skies. This evening, heading home from work, temperatures will be in the 40s and 30s with partly clear skies and also quiet conditions. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. MVHS has announced that
Storm Tracker 2 weather updates all day on KTV+.
The Cooperstown Camera is brought to you by Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Utica. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, on this Tuesday. Today starts a 3-day warm-up here in early March where temperatures go a good amount above average. But at least early today, it's not warm just yet. A live look at downtown Utica right now. We are below freezing with dry weather as we speak. Current conditions sit at 22 with clear skies in Rome. A light 6-mile-per-hour wind from the south, key direction here, has those wind chills at 14 degrees. And as that south wind continues to strengthen throughout the day today, following a warm front, we'll see those conditions continue to warm. Now, the radar at this point is looking dry here locally, but let's zoom out on the radar and satellite because we are tracking a warm front moving in. Now, the leading edge of it, although the name sounds deceiving, could produce some snow showers. But in the wake of it, a warm front means it's dragging in warm air, and we can start to see that in areas out near Michigan, Wisconsin, in parts of Illinois. That's all rainfall, which means it's above freezing, and it's quite a bit above freezing. It's heading our way as we turn the page to tonight and into tomorrow. And so with that in mind, yes, it'll be mild, much more mild than average here in the Mohawk Valley tomorrow, but along with it, the potential for a good amount of rainfall. We're thinking roughly between 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches in some spots. Of course, the areas with the highest amount of rainfall will be in locations north of the Mohawk Valley due to upsloping. All the moisture is getting lifted north and getting squeezed out of the atmosphere. Now, the concern for this is also not only due to the fact we're going to see maybe 1 inch of rainfall in the areas to the north, but with the estimated snow depth across the North Country and north of the Mohawk Valley, that's going to aid in the potential for flooding concerns. So we're going to keep a very close eye on river monitors. As of now, we have a live look at river monitor forecasts. West Canada Creek, we'll keep a close eye on. And as well as that, if you live near any body of water or any river, any stream, and there's ice on it, if you let us know, because again, we can't go to all these local streams and rivers, it'll help tremendously in putting out the word in case potential ice jams are in effect. The good news is there's a lot of locations where ice jamming is not likely due to the rivers and streams already being melted, but still some locations are still frozen, primarily in the Adirondacks. So a passing snow shower or sprinkle today. Following that, quiet weather until early tomorrow morning. Then widespread rainfall moves through Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening. And then we'll see the potential for maybe a rumble of thunder. First thunderstorm of the season Wednesday night as a cold front rolls through and temperatures continue to dip below freezing into the 30s with lingering lake effect snow Thursday into Friday. And so your 7-day forecast, we have got a pretty roller coaster slate of conditions over the next few days. Alert day tomorrow for the potential of flooding. Then the temperatures fall back down again into the 30s just in time for the weekend.
All right, thanks a lot, Eric. So, again, temperatures in the teens, but you might have a thunderstorm tomorrow. Here we go. Here we go. Thanks a lot. Time now, 5:22, still ahead.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And good Tuesday morning to you. Thank you for joining us this half hour. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
So let's start this half hour with a check of that Storm Tracker 2 forecast. A little warm up on the way, but like I said in the intro there, a little bit of concern coming as well. What's going on?
Yeah, not only is it a warm-up, but also aided with it is rainfall, and a good amount of rain. And, you know, we still have a lot of snow pack on the ground, especially in areas to the north, and our biggest concern could be some flooding if this all happens at once.
Right?
Yes. Our main thing when it comes to thawing this time of year is a gradual thaw with not a whole lot of rainfall, so that's why tomorrow is an alert day due to that fact. But the thaw hasn't taken place just yet. It's a warm start to your day today, or I should say colder start to the day today. It's 22 in Rome, but notice out to the west where that warm front is moving in, those temperatures have climbed above freezing. It's in the mid-30s in Buffalo, Dansville, and Rochester, and reaching the freezing point just above it in Ithaca as we speak. So we can actually see the movement of that warm front right now. Now with the wind chill, it does feel a little colder out in the Mohawk Valley, 14 in Rome. And the radar, although quiet here locally, as we zoom out, we can see the movement of this warm front as we speak. And although it sounds deceiving, this warm front might bring some snow. And it's not going to be a long-lasting event. It'll pass over us within the span of a half hour or so, and then this does come to an end. This is our best chance for any sort of rain or snow today. So the next 12 hours, again, the passage of that moves through, and we'll see the warm front bring in warmer temperatures up into the 30s and 40s by this afternoon with mostly cloudy skies. You could see a peak of clearing here and there as we head into this evening, but our main focus will be tonight through tomorrow, primarily tomorrow through tomorrow night. With the warm weather and the widespread rainfall, the concern for flooding does rise. We have a look at the concern for that with the latest river monitor forecast, as well as how much rain we can expect from this in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. New this morning, President Donald Trump will make
2 weather updates all day on KTV+.
The Cooperstown Camera is brought to you by Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Utica.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Tuesday. Our photo of the day today takes us to a great shot of the sunrise taken in Clinton. This is an amazing photo of the overlook, which was reported to be taken right on the hilltop of Hamilton College. And as you can see here, it's a great view of the sunrise over the valley. If you would like to submit a photo like this, you can send it to the link right there on the top of your screen, WKTV.com/weather/pics. Now today it starts out on the colder side. We are in the 20s and teens early this morning. Wind chills even in the areas are in the 20s have fallen as well. But as a warm front moves through by the late morning, bringing a brief round of snow and rain, this will switch over to a warming trend, and we'll see those temperatures climb for the second half of the day today into the 30s and 40s. So we are tracking that arrival of rain and snow and the widespread rainfall that arrives tomorrow that could have some concerns for flooding. With the full details on that in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. A wildfire in the Myrtle Beach area of South Carolina has burned more than 2,000 acres. And at last check, the blaze was about 30% contained and filling the air with smoke. As Amanda Kinseth reports, there were parents not happy that schools stayed open Monday.
I think it's crazy that Carolina Forest schools are open. They should have made it exempt.
This anonymous Carolina Forest High School mom is appalled at the decision to send students to school during a 1,600-acre wildfire in Horry County.
I thought it was completely absurd that we had to drive through the smoke, the smell that is in the homes, the schools, and put everyone in danger after the first responders told us to stay off the roads.
Heavy smoke plagued the Carolina Forest area Monday morning.
The inside of my house is full of smoke. So it's not just the outside, it's the inside as well.
Also driving and not able to see a stoplight until you're 2 feet away from it is insane to me.
School bus drivers also had to navigate the smoky roads to get to their students.
The kids, they're in the smoke, so their eyes are kind of watery and they're a little bit scared, but otherwise we're going to get them to school and try to make it a little bit happier for them once they get on the bus.
The Horry County School District says the decision to hold school was based on information from government partners. And they adjusted the HVAC system Sunday evening to reduce the intake of outside air into buildings. Plus, they have filtration units to help improve indoor air quality, reducing airborne particles like smoke. Still, an online petition urges the school district to reconsider that decision, given the hazardous air quality and potential safety risk posed by the fires. Through all the frustration, though, still a moment of gratitude.
Thank God no one has lost their home, their life, and I could not be more grateful for the first responders. I'm sorry that we have the best of the best.
In Horry County, I'm Amanda Kinsett.
Time now for
Most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. The time now is 5:49, and this morning it's a cold one, but changes are on the way. The warm stretch and widespread rainfall. Before we get to that, though, let's take a look outside right now. Downtown Utica, it's a dry view out there early today. You should have no impacts heading out the door this morning. In fact, the temperature sits at 22. A southeast wind of 6 miles per hour brings those feels-like temperatures down into the mid-teens. But the key point here is that southeast wind, and it'll strengthen following the arrival of this warm front. As we zoom out here in the bigger picture, here's that front, and although it does kind of sound a bit on the opposite side, a warm front bringing snow, but that's the case here. The leading edge of it producing a brief round of snow and rain. Following that, though, the warm front brings in warm air and the potential for rainfall as well. We can see this massive jump in the jet stream, and we're going to be below it, which means that we're going to see all this above freezing air as well as rainfall potential over the next couple of days. And this will primarily fall throughout the day tomorrow and tomorrow night. The average consensus is roughly 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches of rainfall throughout this entire event, with the higher totals expected in areas to the north. Well, what does that mean with concerns for flooding? Well, we already still have several inches of snow on the ground, a lot more in areas to the north. This is an estimated snow depth map here, not obviously completely accurate, but the general idea is there's a lot of snowpack still in the ground in the North Country, aided with additional rainfall, could bring some concerns for flooding. Now, we're going to have to keep a very close eye on river monitors across the area, and on top of that, we might need your help as well. If you live near a creek or stream that is still frozen, please let us know, weather at WKTV.com. If you can be a spotter and let us know if the ice is moving, if there's any jamming taking place, because this is life-saving information that you could provide to us as well, because we unfortunately cannot go to every single area creek in the area all at once. So if you're willing to help a little bit, it'd be great news. Again, not a whole lot of concern, potential minor near flood stage potential in parts of West Canada Creek. So our skycast today, mainly quiet. Later this morning, early part of this afternoon, a warm front brings a brief round of rain and snow that ends. Then things quiet down this evening and tonight until early tomorrow morning. That's when we'll see the arrival of a strong south wind, widespread rainfall. Heaviest rain, of course, north of the Mohawk Valley. That rain tapers off a little bit. We could see a thunderstorm if it's not a very high chance, but it's possible Wednesday night as that cold front moves through, and then those temperatures continue to fall as that rain slowly switches back over to snowfall as we head into Thursday evening and Thursday night. And so your 7-day forecast, alert day for the potential for flooding on Wednesday, and then windy conditions Friday, heart run and walk on Saturday, 30s with a potential few flurries, and then of course those clocks move ahead an hour for daylight saving time on Sunday.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And good Tuesday morning to you. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve McMurray in for Gary today.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
A lot to get to this morning, but we want to get right to a check of the Storm Tracker 2 forecast. Warm-up is on the way, but that also brings some concerns.
Yes, it's a warm spell, but also rainfall, and a good amount of rain, and we still have plenty of snow on the ground, and that spells a concern for flooding. So that's our focus for the next couple of days, is the potential for that. But at least early this morning, there's no warm-up just yet. We haven't reached that warm front, so it's a cold start to your Tuesday. It's 24 in Rome, 28 in Hamilton, 21 up in the North Country in Saranac Lake. But notice out in western New York, 30s across the board, rainfall reported at Dansville, potentially freezing rain as the temperatures in some spots are falling at near or below freezing. But as you can see here, the wind chill still relatively cold in the Mohawk Valley, but the radar right now looking dry. To our west is where I mentioned previously that warm front is, and although it is a warm front, we could see snowfall, at least from this in the higher elevations, and then it mix over to rainfall in the lowest. However, due to how cold it is right now, I do think that we could see, most of us, a round of brief snow before this does switch over to a couple sprinkles. But this is really our only rain or snow potential for today. Following this, things do dry out and they warm up. We go from the 20s this morning up into the 40s by this afternoon. A warm early March day followed by a very warm day tomorrow, but along with that, too, there's widespread rainfall, snow melt, and, of course, that concern flooding. We have a look at how much rain we could expect and how long this rain lasts before we cool back down again in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. New this morning, the risk of ice jams mentioned is getting very real. In fact, the governor is urging central New Yorkers to prepare for possible flooding from ice jams with flood watches in effect from today until Thursday afternoon. Governor Hochul says DOT crews and others are monitoring problem areas and are ready to take action to mitigate flooding. The governor offered a few safety tips for families. First, make a family escape plan, identifying a meeting place if family members get separated. Learn the safest route from your house to high ground. Stockpile clean drinking water and plan for pets. And Eric will have more on the flood potential coming up later throughout this newscast. Well, starting today, tariffs against Canada and Mexico.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back. The time now is 6:13 and heading out the door today. Well, you should really have no impacts on your morning commute as things are looking dry, although it is still a little cold out early this morning. The current conditions across the area roadways, as you can see right now, are mainly clear and also dry. But as we turn the page to the middle and late morning today, we could see the arrival of a cold front, or I should say a warm front, bringing the potential for a brief round of rain and snow. But at least when it comes to area roadways this morning, a lot of green across the board, no incidents to report, and of course, no concern to travel expected early today. The radar is just starting to see that warm front right along our doorstep out in just outside of Geneva in the Finger Lakes region. As it continues to move its way eastward, it'll again produce maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes of rain and snow. Then it ends, and then we're done with any type of rain and snow for the day today. But again, this morning, it's partly sunny, it's cold, it's quiet. This afternoon, I should say this evening, for your evening commute, partly clear with temperatures in the 30s and 40s. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. MVHS has announced they've come to an agreement with the union.
Spoil your day. Watch for the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast and be ready for your drive to and from work. The Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast is brought to you by the Pratt Munson College of Art and Design. Visit Pratt Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity. Cooperstown Camera is brought to you by Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Utica. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. We are starting out today with a cold one. It's a dry one, though, and as we head in the next few days, things are going to turn a lot more on the warmer side. Let's take a look outside right now. It's a dry view of downtown Utica as we speak. Temperatures this morning sitting at 24 at Griffiths & Rome with an east-southeast wind of 7 miles per hour, bringing that feels like temperature down to 16. Now, as we had throughout the day today, this east-southeast wind or variable wind will turn more of a strong south wind, which will drag in warmer temperatures. But at least early today, things are quiet. But to our west is where we can see the arrival of a warm front. Now, it does seem a bit on the weird side to call a warm front bringing snow, but that's the case with this type of setup. It's dragging in some warmer air, but the surface is still relatively cold enough. We could see spots of rain, a wintry mix, sleety snow, even some bigger wet snowflakes moving in as well as this passes over us. But in the wake of this warm front, we've got a lot of rainfall and a lot of warm weather that can move into our area by tomorrow. We're thinking high temperatures climb as high as the low 50s, but of course, aided with it too is widespread rain. And when it comes to the projected rainfall, we think a lot of the locations here in central New York and the Mohawk Valley could see between 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches. And that 1.5 inch zone is primarily focused north of the Mohawk Valley. And the highest concern with this is not just the rainfall, but still the intense amount of snow that's still in place here in parts of the North Country, north of the Mohawk Valley. Now, this is an estimated snow depth, obviously not the exact totals, but the general idea is there's still plenty of snow on the ground, lots of rain arriving, and that could spell a concern for area creeks, streams, and rivers. So we're going to keep a close eye on the River Monitor forecast. Still near flood stage in some parts here, but a lot of locations should have no issues as of now. But there still are a few locations that could, streams and creeks that are still iced over. We can't get to all of them, so if you're willing to be a spotter and let us know if a creek near you is frozen or an ice jam is imminent, the sooner you let us know, the sooner that warnings can be issued, and you could be saving a lot of damage as well as potentially putting out a warning as soon as we can. So on our Skycast today, things looking quiet, a brief round of rain and snow, then that dries out. We quiet down for the overnight hours and early tomorrow. Then widespread rain moves in as we head into Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, and Wednesday night. Temperatures upper 40s, low 50s. Wednesday night, we could see a brief round of heavier rainfall, even the potential for a rumble of thunder as that cold front rolls through. Temperatures slowly fall back from the 50s down to reality into the 40s and 30s again by Friday and into the weekend. So we're not seeing this warm stretch last all too long. Reminder, we're still in early March, so it's going to take a while for these much warmer temperatures to really win out over this cold air.
Yeah, and the snowpack's higher this year than it has been in many years, so those concerns aren't going to go away after tomorrow. All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, be sure to like us on... Today is Tuesday, March 4th, 2025, and the news rolls along right now.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And good morning. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday morning. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
So let's start this half hour with a check of that Storm Tracker 2 forecast. A chilly start, a couple degrees warmer than it was when we started the show. Warm-up's going to continue, but there's an asterisk with that.
Yes, there's going to be some rainfall as well, so may not bring out the sunglasses, may bring out the umbrella for tomorrow. And along with that, too, there's potential for flooding. Of course, we'll get into that in a lot more detail in a few minutes, but at least early today, it's cold. We're still below freezing. That warm-up hasn't arrived just yet, but as Steve mentioned, it is on the way. It's 24 outside right now. It's warmed up a little bit. Wind chill still rather on the cold side, but notice out in western New York where that warm front's moving in, those temperatures are climbing into the upper 30s already. But as you can see here, those winds are still on the stronger side. Wind chills down into the teens in the Mohawk Valley. Radar right now looking mainly quiet in central New York, but of course that ominous look out in western New York. You can see the arrival of all that snowfall, but it's not going to last all too long. This will pass through our area within 20, 30, 40 minutes or so, and then or I should say, it will pass through in that type of time frame. It won't actually arrive until the next couple of hours, but this will move through, brief round of rain and snow, then things do quiet down later on today. But also that warm front brings with it warmer temperatures. We climb into the 40s by this afternoon with mostly cloudy skies, and following that, a better shot for widespread rainfall tomorrow and even greater of a warm-up. And we are looking at the potential for flooding as well as how much rain we can expect. All that and more coming up in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning, President Donald Trump.
Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery in Delhi. The Cooperstown Camera is brought to you by Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Utica.
Welcome back to Sunrise, everyone, on this Tuesday. Our photo of the day today takes us to Clinton. So a shout out to all of you watching from Clinton this morning. Your photo is of this, a sunrise overlooking the area on top of the hill where Hamilton College is present, taken by Jamie Goodwin. Amazing photo right here of the faint sunrise out in the distance and the wintry scene out there as well. And a lot of great views, especially as you head up those hilltops just south of the Mohawk Valley. If you would like to submit a photo like this one, you can send it to the link on the top of your screen, wktv.com/weather/pics. The chance of your photo featured right here on News Channel 2 at sunrise. Now this morning, it's still a cold one. A warm-up is on the way, but it hasn't arrived just yet. We're still in the 20s and teens, but to our west, a warm front is moving in as we speak. We could see a brief round of rain and snow before things gradually warm up this afternoon and this evening, and a better shot for warmer weather as you look ahead to tomorrow with, though, widespread rain. We'll be talking about the risks with that heavy rainfall coming up in that full forecast. Steve?
Eric, thanks. A wildfire in the Myrtle Beach area of South Carolina has burned more than 2,000 acres, and last check was about 30% contained. As Amanda Kinseth reports, some parents weren't happy schools didn't close Monday.
I think it's crazy that Carolina Forest schools are open. They should have made it exempt.
This anonymous Carolina Forest High School mom is appalled at the decision to send students to school during a 1,600-acre wildfire in Horry County.
I thought it was completely absurd that we had to drive through the smoke, the smell that is in the homes, the schools, and put everyone in danger after the first responders told us to stay off the roads.
Heavy smoke plagued the Carolina Forest area Monday morning.
The inside of my house is full of smoke. So it's not just the outside, it's the inside as well.
Also driving and not able to see a stoplight until you're 2 feet away from it is insane to me.
School bus drivers also had to navigate the smoky roads to get to their students.
The kids, they're in the smoke, so their eyes are kind of watery, and they're a little bit scared, but otherwise we're going to get them to school and try to make it a little bit happier for them once they get on the bus.
The Horry County School District says the decision to hold school was based on information from government partners. And they adjusted the HVAC system Sunday evening to reduce the intake of outside air into buildings. Plus, they have filtration units to help improve indoor air quality, reducing airborne particles like smoke. Still, an online petition urges the school district to reconsider that decision, given the hazardous air quality and potential safety risk posed by the fires. Through all the frustration, though, still a moment of gratitude.
Thank God no one has lost their home, their life, and I could not be more grateful for the first responders. I'm sorry that we have the best of the best.
In Horry County, I'm Amanda Kinsett.
Time now, 6:40.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. On this Tuesday, we are starting out dry but cold, at least colder than what we're going to be experiencing for the next few days. Current conditions out there right now, we are sitting at 24 with cloudy skies at Griffiths and Rome. And that east-southeast wind to 7 miles per hour, bringing that feels like temperature down to 16. Now, the radar is quiet here in the Mohawk Valley, but what looks ominous is out here to the west. There is the arrival of a warm front, which will bring the potential for a brief round of rain or snow, depending on elevation. I think with all the cold air in place here right now, I think more snow than rain. But following this warm front, it's going to drag in warmer weather, hence the name. Here we are with some more rain showers and warmer temperatures as the jet stream is way up to the north here. And when the jet stream is north of us, we get those above freezing temperatures. Now, along with that above freezing weather over the next few days, in fact, mild conditions approaching near 50 degrees by tomorrow, we're going to see the arrival of widespread rainfall. And the general consensus is between 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches of rain across the board, with higher totals in areas to the north. Why is this a concern? Well, when it comes to late winter, early spring, and the snow starts to melt, keyword snow starts to melt here, we've got a lot of snow still on the ground in areas to the north. This is estimated snow depth, obviously not accurate numbers, but just a general idea of the fact that there's a lot of snow still on the ground and a lot more that still needs to melt. And you factor that in, and you've got rainfall, snow melt, there's potential for flooding. Now, there's not a huge concern in a lot of areas. Most are at a near flood stage level potential, but this could change depending on the changes in the rainfall, if ice jams take place. For now, a lot of area waterways are clear, but some in the higher elevations, primarily in the Adirondacks, are still likely completely frozen. So if you are near a creek or stream that's frozen over or an ice jam is possible, or you're witnessing one, please email us weather@wktv.com. We want to know as soon as possible to relay that information out to all of you. And so to our skycast today, it's mainly quiet, a passing flurry or light snow shower mixed in with rain. Following that, the rest of the day looking relatively quiet. We could see some clearing initially overnight into early tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow morning, we start out with rainfall moving its way in. It's steady rainfall throughout the afternoon with some heavier rainfall up to the north. And of course, this will linger its way through, temperatures in the upper 40s to low 50s. Then by tomorrow evening, we'll see that trailing cold front roll through, and this could be our first thunderstorm of the year. Now, the temperatures still might not be too favorable for it, but with the conditions present, this strong low pressure, a rumble of thunder, it cannot be ruled out. Then that cold front rolls through, and those temperatures continue to dip throughout the day Thursday from initially above freezing to below freezing by the afternoon and evening with some scattered snow showers. And so your 7-day forecast, we have an alert day tomorrow for that potential for flooding. And then we fall back to reality with these temperatures into the 30s by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And a reminder to turn those clocks forward an hour Saturday night to Sunday as we move into daylight saving time.
Yeah, a lot going on the next few days. An alert day tomorrow. We've got the Heart Run Walk on Saturday, and then moving your clocks on Sunday. So keep tuned to us as things develop. Thanks a lot, Eric. We're still ahead on Sunrise. The fallout continues. Gage joins us now with a first look at the forecast, and a warm-up is on the way, but there is some concern with that warm-up. Fill us in.
Yes, along with the warmth, we got rainfall moving in, and along with the snow melt, our concern is for flooding. And of course, that arrives tomorrow. For today, though, it's a gradual warm-up. In fact, a look at the current conditions out there right now, we are tracking a few more areas of overcast. A live look at Oneonta right now. The cloud layers, although thin, again, this is a light overcast. And temperatures have climbed above freezing in the Mohawk Valley. 37 in Rome, 41 in Hamilton. It's 54 in Dansville to the south. That is already a very warm afternoon here in the upstate New York areas, although it is still below freezing, though, as you head up into the Adirondacks at 32 in Glens Falls and Saranac Lake. Now, the radar is looking rather busy right now. We got some blues, you got some greens, got some purples. However, this is all elevated moisture in the atmosphere, a lot of dry air near the ground. So following the brief flurries and sprinkles this morning, these are really not producing all too much. So again, today, maybe a passing flurry or sprinkle, but there really isn't a whole lot of strength from this. It's a warm front. Usually those are accompanied by either very weak rain or snow showers. In this case, warming temperatures. We actually climbed even more into the upper mid 40s by this afternoon, but even warmer days are ahead, especially for tomorrow. We have a look at that warm up plus the expected rainfall in the minutes ahead. Steve?
Eric, thanks. As we inch toward Wednesday, the risk of the governor is urging central New Yorkers to prepare for possible flooding from ice jams, with flood watches in effect in parts of the state from today until Thursday afternoon. Now, Governor Hochul says DOT crews are monitoring problem areas and are ready to take action to mitigate flooding. The governor offered a few safety tips for families. First, make a family escape plan, identifying a meeting place if family members get separated. Learn the safest route from your house to high ground. Stockpile clean drinking water and have a plan for your pets. And again, Eric will have more on the flooding potential coming up throughout this newscast. President Trump is set to As President Trump addresses Congress later tonight, U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer says he will bring a Rome native as his personal guest. At tonight's joint address to Congress, Tiffany Ramos, a Rome native and SUNY Morrisville grad who worked at the USDA since 2021, will be in attendance. Schumer says Ramos was unfairly fired as probation.
Most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone. On this Tuesday, our gradual warm-up towards full spring continues right now. In fact, a live look at downtown Utica. Well, it's overcast out there. Not too much when it comes to sunshine here in the Mohawk Valley, but the temperatures have climbed. It's actually not too bad out. 37 the temperature with an east wind of 6 miles per hour. Feels like 32 out right now, so again, it feels like right around freezing, but this will continue to climb into the low to mid 40s as we continue on in the afternoon. The radar, as I mentioned previously, looking a little busy, but again, a lot of this is not quite reaching the ground. Maybe a few flurries in areas in Hamilton County, but beside that, things are trending on the dry side for much this afternoon, this evening. As we head into tonight and early tomorrow, this is when things get a little bit more on the busy side. We've got this large area of low pressure. This, of course, is dragging in some strong south winds, and we'll eventually see some more rain moving in by early tomorrow. And by tomorrow afternoon, at least by the mid-morning to early afternoon, lots of sustained rainfall, even heavy at times in areas to the north. When it comes to amounts, you can see here, 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches of accumulation of rainfall expected, which, of course, on any given day, if it's dry out, if we had a dry spell, wouldn't be too significant. But We also have a whole lot of snow still on the ground, and especially areas to the north. And with that in mind, our concern still lies with the potential for flooding. It's an alert day for tomorrow. And again, it's to let you guys know of the potential of flooding in creeks, rivers, and streams. For now, the risk is low. Notice a lot of green icons here, which is good. A lot of locations, the rivers, or at least the streams, have already melted. There are still some streams that have ice on them, and so that's what we're keeping a very close eye on, especially in locations, for example, West Canada Creek, parts of Herkimer County heading up into the foothills of the Adirondacks. Some of the yellow spots in areas to the south as well, but again, that's the key point here, is keeping a very close eye on snowmelt as well as the rainfall. So today we can see that passage of some brief light rain and flurries. That does come to an end, and things remain mainly quiet into this evening with the arrival of some spotty light rain overnight, but it really doesn't start to pick up until tomorrow morning when that strong south wind moves in, and we're going to see that widespread rainfall all across the area, and especially heavier at times in areas to the north. That's that sustained rain could produce its highest impacts. Wednesday evening and Wednesday night, notice here, this is a line of yellow. This could be a line of some thunderstorms. Now, they'd be weak. They wouldn't be that notable, but we can't rule out a rumble of thunder or two with the strength of the system, so just a heads up, just so you're not caught off guard. But following that, the cold front cools things down, and rain eventually switches over to snow throughout the day on Thursday. And so your 7-day forecast, this warm spell I mentioned previously is full spring. We're back down into the 30s again by Saturday and Sunday. But again, we're keeping a very close eye on rivers, creeks, streams. That's why tomorrow is an alert day. And of course, we'll have our eye to the sky and eye to the ground when it comes to these rainfall reports.
Absolutely. And winter holding on there, the lows in the teens on Saturday night. And again, a lot going on. You have the alert day tomorrow, Heart Run and Walk on Saturday, and then you move your clocks ahead on Sunday. So keep it here as things certainly change. Thanks a lot, Eric. Crews in South Carolina continue to work towards containing the Carolina Forest wildfire. Hundreds of firefighters are battling the fire that's engulfed more than 2,000 acres near Myrtle Beach. According to the National Weather Service, increased fire danger warnings have been issued to both North and South Carolina, with winds expected to pick up and humidity expected to drop. As of late Monday, the fire remained at just about 30% containment. Drones were deployed to support ground crews as those crews reinforced brake lines and set up sprinkler systems to saturate the ground, while a statewide burn ban will stay in effect until further notice. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster declared a state of emergency after approximately 175 blazes were recorded across the Carolinas over the weekend. A massive dust storm in New Mexico leaves drivers stranded. The dust storm, known as a haboob, swept across parts of New Mexico at a rapid pace with near zero visibility and winds of 45 miles an hour. A haboob creates a wall of dust and debris that can grow up to 5,000 feet tall. Officials issued a health alert and shutdown notice on Monday due to blowing dust. The National Weather Service also issued a dust storm warning for parts of Interstate 10 and 25, as well as U.S. Highway 70. Drivers were asked to shelter in place as officials tried to get cars off of the interstates. Coming up, we'll have the latest from the Vatican on the health of Pope Francis, his son AJ, who died on March 6th last year. And time now for a first look at the forecast in this half hour. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary today, and Eric joins us. And a warm-up is on the way, which I think everybody's looking for, but a little bit of cautious optimism in that.
Yeah, we got some rain moving in as well, and with the rainfall, with the snow still on the ground, compared to last year, we don't really have a lot of snowpack, but this year we do, and that's the biggest concern when it comes to flooding. But some silver lining with some of the days coming up in the near future. Let's take a look at this right here. So we have 15 days left until the first day of spring. Now, those of you who follow the meteorological spring, which takes place a few days ago, the 1st of March, for time, or at least for record keeping, it's easier to put dates for the beginning of the months versus the middle of the months. But the actual springtime with the sun reaching the spring equinox is 15 days away. 4 days until a 7 p.m. sunset. Now, that is also aided by daylight saving time, but still, we've got a late sunset on tap in just 4 days. And 33 days until our average high reaches around 50 degrees, so about a month away. Now, of course, it's an average, and sometimes Mother Nature might go warmer or colder, but generally speaking, that's usually when we reach that 50-degree mark for the high. Live look in Cooperstown right now. It's cloudy, it's dry. Temperatures have continued to climb into the 30s and 40s across the board. Snowfall reported up in Saranac Lake right now. It's light snow, but really the rest of central New York looking at mainly quiet conditions. The radar looking rather busy, but again, this is a warm front, so a lot of this precipitation falling is on the lighter side. So we'll see a light flurry or sprinkle here and there, but again, after this morning, we've climbed up into the upper 30s, low 40s. It will remain that way through this evening. Then tonight, falling back down into the 30s. But tomorrow, we got a warmer day ahead, plus the potential for decent, moderate to heavy rainfall. We have a look at that, the rainfall accumulation, and the concern for flooding in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs on...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, although initially cold, has continued to warm up. Parts of the Mohawk Valley have climbed above freezing. In fact, look at downtown Utica right now. We actually are above freezing in the city as we speak. Road conditions looking dry, no impacts to travel so far today, and we'll continue to see that trend heading into this evening. The current temperatures across the area, again, slowly climbing above freezing, but the conditions, cloudy skies, east wind of 6 miles per hour. This will begin to shift to a more southerly wind as we approach the overnight into early tomorrow morning. That'll drag with it warmer temperatures as well as some heavier rainfall. Now, the radar looks a little busy this afternoon, but there really isn't a whole lot going on near the ground. This is all light rain and drizzle and flurries from this warm front, which glides over the cold air near the surface. And with the weak forcing at play here, this really isn't causing too much with at least any sort of rain or snow near the ground. But a few flurries have been falling in parts of the North Country near Speculator. Zooming out, this is all part of a massive system bringing rainfall and snow to parts of the lower 48. But for us here locally, mainly on the rain side, as this jet stream continues to move its way north, we're on the warm side of it, and we'll continue to see those milder conditions through tonight, tomorrow, and tomorrow night before things eventually cool down by Thursday. And so with the movement of the system into our area, there will be plenty of rainfall to share. It's between 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches in pretty much all of the area, with the highest totals expected in locations to the north of the Mohawk Valley. Now this, along with the snow depth, which is still in some spots nearing 3 feet, not quite 4 feet in some locations, but you can see the general estimated snow depth on areas to the north. Still plenty of snow on the ground and plenty of rain arriving tomorrow. So we're going to keep a very close eye on river monitors. This is our live river monitor forecast graphic. This is something we'll be closely looking at throughout the day tomorrow, as well as I'll have a team looking out at some of these rivers and streams throughout the morning and afternoon with the arrival of this steady rainfall tomorrow. Again, this is the biggest concern with that snowmelt and heavy rain, the potential for flooding. But back to the skycast today, a few passing flurries and sprinkles. Other than that, mostly cloudy skies. A partial clearing this evening and tonight. And then by tomorrow, we'll see the arrival of widespread rainfall and a strong south wind. This lingers through much of the morning and early afternoon. It does diminish a little bit by the evening with cloudy skies, and then the arrival of a cold or occluded front in this case, which has the potential of firing up rumble of thunder here and there. So I don't think the possibility is high, but don't be shocked if you hear a rumble of thunder out in the distance. Then that cold front rolls through and things gradually cool down throughout the day on Thursday. And so your 7-day forecast, alert day tomorrow for that potential of flooding. At least on Thursday, we begin to cool back down again to the 40s and 30s just in time for the weekend, which will be on the cooler side, low 30s with peaks of sunshine, clouds here and there, and of course a few snow showers here and there as well. So the rainfall and the warm weather does end temporarily.
All right, and again, there's that mixed bag. Rainfall tomorrow with perhaps a rumble of thunder. The teens Saturday night.
Yeah.
Pretty much all that you're missing, like you said, is the kitchen sink. But be weather aware tomorrow. As we said, it is an alert day, depending on how hard it rains, and that snowpack is heavy. So some of the usual places you want to keep an eye on, no doubt. All right, thanks, Eric. The training preparations and
vehicle fire from spreading to a home. This was on Paris Road before 2:30 this afternoon near Compton. Two bridges in Whitestown, and there's an open house about what's planned next week. Both bridges go over the Sequoia Creek, one on State Route 69, the other on Main Street in Whitesboro. At the open house, you'll be able to see the plans, give comments, and talk with DOT reps who will be able to answer questions about the projects. This is happening next Wednesday, March 12th, 4 to 8 at Whitesboro Middle School. The forecast is calling for widespread rain, and temperatures are expected to climb above 50 degrees. That, coupled with the snowbanks, could result in local flooding. News Channel 2's Kirk Tupai tells us what municipalities have been doing to prepare for the potential flooding.
There are several areas around central New York that are prone to flooding. The village of Whitesboro has been affected by early winter thaws in the past, especially at the CSX bridge off Main Street. Whitesboro Mayor Glenn Hopsiker has been keeping a close eye on the Sequoia Creek and is taking early precautions.
We've been watching to make sure there's no ice jams, which there are not. We drove down there the last few days to make sure there's no logs underneath the CSX bridge, which CSX also has got a long stick on standby in case something did happen for us there, and we also have DOT on standby.
The mayor isn't just focusing on the Sequoia Creek and has crews taking action to make sure the village is ready for a quick thaw.
Our DPW has already started clearing out the storm drains. The fire department obviously is always ready in the PD, but we're lucky that we had a little bit of a warm spell last week, and the cold nights have been helping us, and I think it's going to be we're going to be in good shape in Whitesboro.
Utica's DPW has been working to clear areas that are prone to flooding, and the commissioner says there are things the public can do to help prevent flooding.
If they're available to get in front of their house with a catch basin, shovel it off so the water can flow into it, would be great.
DPW workers will continue opening up as many catch basins as possible and clearing snow from areas of concern. But with rain and warm weather on the way, there's likely going to be some areas that can't handle the amount of water expected.
I'm sure there will be some areas that are flooding. Our guys will be out there of all parts of the city tomorrow, checking on the flooding and cleaning off catch basins in all the areas where the flooding happens.
If you do see areas starting to flood within the city of Utica, you're asked to call the DPW at 315-738-1341, and they'll respond as fast as they can. In Utica, I'm Kirk Tupai reporting for News Channel 2.
Kirk, thank you. Let's talk more about the risk with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Well, it's there. The ground's frozen. There's plenty of snow. We've got this warm-up coming. And so we are under the risk for some flooding. We have a flood watch that has been extended to include Oneida County by the National Weather Service. We think this is more of a regional thing, especially for those of you that have a decent base of snow, those of you living in north of the Mohawk Valley. We've got a Storm Tracker 2 alert day for Wednesday. It's some rain, it's melting snow. The combination of the two could cause some issues on area streams and rivers. And I think the bigger issue will be just where the runoff just doesn't get a chance to go with storm drains being clogged and things like that. We'll be dealing with that tomorrow, and then we'll be watching area rivers on Thursday as that snow melt goes into those river basins. Live look at the Airfield Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Temperature 42 degrees. We are above freezing. We'll stay above freezing this evening. Rain is on the way for tomorrow. We're tracking rainfall amounts and when things will start to come to an end. That's coming up. Kristen, back to you.
Bill, thank you. In just a matter of hours, President Trump will deliver his...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. We continue to track the next weather maker, which is expected to bring rain along with warmer temperatures and a lot of melting snow over the next 24 hours. The snow melt today was relatively small. the rate hasn't been all that great, and a lot of that has to do with the air being dry. There are a lot of factors that change the rate of snowmelt. It's not just warm temperatures, but it's also humidity, wind, sunshine, and with it being cloudy today and with the air being really dry, the snowmelt hasn't been that fast, but that's going to change tomorrow. Specifically, the wind and the humidity climbing, along with the temperature, will help to really accelerate the snowmelt process. It is pretty quiet out there. We've been tracking a couple of sprinkles to the north today, but it has been a relatively quiet afternoon. We continue to monitor areas, streams, and rivers, and again, as of tonight, nothing significant to report. Some of these yellows that are showing up here are future projections of river rise, and right now, no rivers are expected to see flooding as of yet, but again, we will continue to keep you updated as we go throughout the next 24 to 36 hours. Westernville, 47 degrees, Westmoreland, 46, Little Falls, 39, Inlet, 39 degrees, Sherburne, 44, Cooperstown, 44, and Oneonta with 43. The next weather maker is the one that's making all kinds of national headlines with severe weather in the south, blizzard conditions in the Midwest. This is going to be moving to our west, and we're going to be on the warmer side of it. And again, we're tracking mostly rain and some wind as this system departs. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast. Tonight, rain will be arriving late. By tomorrow morning, your morning commute is looking wet. Widespread rain is expected for most of the day. Noontime, steady rainfall. The rain will start to taper off temporarily by tomorrow evening. Temperatures will be close to 50 degrees. A cold front arrives Wednesday night. This could produce a few rumbles of thunder. It's a very small chance, but it's there. And then we'll see temperatures start to fall. Rain showers turn over to snow showers. Breezy conditions expected on Thursday. Temperatures in the 30s. Rainfall amounts look to be on the lighter side, or at least less across the Mohawk Valley. About a half an inch to an inch of rainfall. It's not the rain coming out of the sky. It's the water coming from the snow melts that could be quite significant. We could be talking about double this amount for melting snow, especially to the north. We think maybe 2.5 inches of water could be melting from that snowpack here over the next 24 hours. Cloudy skies tonight, low temperature of 39. Tomorrow, looking at periods of rain, breezy, a high of 50. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. We'll start to cool off Thursday, 44. Snow showers return Friday, 36 degrees. It looks dry for Heart Run on Saturday. Don't forget the clocks change this weekend. We spring ahead. Temperatures start to warm up again by next Tuesday.
Bill, thank you. Some adjustments had to be made to Mardi Gras. Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis to talk about the change in temperatures for the rest of the week.
Yeah, we've got a big jump in the temperature tomorrow. We're expecting high temperatures to get to near 50 degrees. This is going to cause a lot of melting snow. And in addition to that, we're expecting some widespread rain with accumulations about a half an inch. The weather cools off as we head throughout the rest of the week. We'll fall below freezing again as we head into the start of the weekend. With the warmer weather on the way, it also brings the risk for ice jams. This is when ice on area streams and rivers breaks apart rapidly, and it also could jam in certain spots, specifically in areas like underneath bridges, overpasses, and winding parts of the river, anywhere where the ice can get stuck. That can often cause ice jams, and it's a scenario that's possible here over the next 24 hours. We're going to keep an eye on that. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. A few sprinkles to the north, otherwise a pretty quiet evening. Temperatures will be above freezing. If you're going to be taking the dog for a walk, really not too bad. Temperatures will be in the 40s. Tonight's featured dog, Dolly from New York Mills. This is brought to you by Nissan. We're tracking when the rain arrives and how much we're expecting. Look at the forecast coming out. Kristen, back to you.
More than a decade after she was acquitted of murder.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. We are tracking the next weather maker, which is going to bring warmer weather along with rain. The biggest concern, though, is snow melt and how fast this happens. That could lead to localized flooding, especially north of the Mohawk Valley. This is live look in Oneonta, where we continue to have daylight. The sun setting in just a couple of minutes here. things are looking pretty quiet across the region. We are continuing to monitor area rivers and streams, and these yellow dots that you see here are projections of river levels over the next 48 hours. And there are, at the moment, doesn't appear to be any major issues, but some rivers could get very close to flood stage here as we head towards Thursday. We do have a flood watch in effect for Oneida County. Again, the melting snow plus runoff could lead to some issues. It's one of those things we have to keep an eye on, and we'll continue to keep you posted in case this does happen. Just a reminder, this upcoming weekend, Saturday night, going to bed, the clocks will be turning 1 hour ahead very early Sunday morning as we go from standard time to daylight saving time. We will get a lot more daylight at the end of the day at the expense of the morning. It gets darker in the morning. Sunsets, the sunrise nowadays is about 6:30. That's going to change to just before 7:30 as we head towards Sunday morning. Sky Watchers checking in. Temperatures are above freezing throughout the area. Whitesboro 43, Boonville 40 degrees, Inlet 37, Fairfield 39, Ilion 40, Milford 39, Worcester checking in with 44. Large area of low pressure works in from the west, and this is going to be our rainmaker for tomorrow. It arrives early tomorrow morning. By 7 o'clock in the morning, widespread rain. It looks wet for your morning drive. Temperatures will climb into the mid to upper 40s. It rains throughout the majority of the day. So even though it's a warm day, not really a nice day to be outdoors. Temperatures stay above freezing heading into Wednesday night. We'll get some breaks in the rain in the evening time, but then another round arrives Wednesday night. This could be accompanied by some rumbles of thunder. So it's an outside chance, but it is possible. Colder weather arrives on Thursday. Winds start to pick up from the west as temperatures fall into the 40s and 30s. Rainfall totals between about a ½ inch to an inch of rain is expected. There will be a lot more melting snow. We think maybe 1 to 2 inches of snow melt could be coming out of that snowpack over the next 24 to 48 hours. Cloudy skies tonight, low temperature of 39. Tomorrow, periods of rain, breezy, a high of 50. Storm Tracker 2's 7-day forecast. Turning windy as we head towards Thursday and Friday. Friday looks to be the windiest day of the stretch. 36 degrees for the high. Looks dry on Saturday, partly sunny for Heart Run and Walk. Sunday, temperatures in the low 30s. We start to warm up again as we look ahead to the middle of next week. We'll be right back.
Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
We now have flood watches in effect for parts of our area, including Oneida and Lewis County, from Wednesday morning through Thursday afternoon. The combination of snow melt and rain could lead to localized flooding. The bigger concern at the moment seems to be in poor drainage areas. Streams and rivers should be able to handle a lot of this, but again, it is something we will be keeping a close eye on. What we are seeing as kind of the wild card is the possibility of ice jams. That's when ice breaks apart on areas, streams, and rivers and gets lodged in certain places. That could be a problem heading into tomorrow night, something we'll be keeping an eye on. Things look quiet out there this evening. It is above freezing. We're sitting at 43 degrees. Temperatures will remain above freezing. We'll stay in the 40s tonight. Rain is expected to arrive tomorrow. We're tracking rainfall amounts and when the weather starts to cool down again. We'll look at the forecast coming up. Kristen, back to you.
Yeah, the rain and the warmer temperatures as a risky combination. It has the potential to bring flooding. Municipalities, though, are preparing. News Channel 2's Kirk Tupai took a look at some of those preparations.
The village of Whitesboro is often affected by early winter thaws, and all that water typically flows into the Sequoia Creek. It builds up at the CSX Bridge off Main Street. Whitesboro Mayor Glenn Hopsiker has been keeping a close eye on the creek and believes the floodplain benches have been helping to keep the village from flooding.
The benches that the county and the town have put together have been a huge help for us. You used to flood with 4 inches of rain, and now we're getting lucky that it kind of goes into those flood benches and helps out a lot. But, you know, we're always concerned, always worried about those residents.
The mayor has the DOT, fire department, police, and CSX on standby in the event of flooding. The DPW has also been clearing catch basins, but there's also a concern about the debris that builds up at the CSX Bridge.
The other worry we're about was debris, and we just checked. That bridge is wide open right now. CSX is where it actually builds up, and there's nothing there. So, yep, we're in really good shape.
Utica DPW Commissioner Mark Sokolowski is also taking preventative measures to keep the city from flooding.
We are going around the whole city in the areas where we know there's flooding from past years, and we're going there and cleaning out the catch basins, we're cleaning out the culverts, we're cleaning out anything we can get snow out of the way.
Utica's DPW has been working to clear areas that are prone to flooding, and the commissioner says there are things the public can do to help prevent flooding.
If they're available to get in front of their house with a catch basin, shovel it off so the water can flow into it, would be great.
The cool nights should help to slow some of the thaw, but the DPW is ready for the worst.
It just depends on the weather. It depends on how warm it's going to get, how much snow we got. We have a lot of snow this year, so let's hope that it doesn't warm up real quick or there will be flooding. Nice gradual thaw would be good for everybody.
If you do see areas starting to flood within the city of Utica, you're asked to call the DPW at 315-738-1341. In Utica, I'm Kirk Chupai reporting for News Channel 2.
Happening next week, an open house regarding the other here on Main Street in Whitesboro. At the open house, you'll be able to look at the plans, give comments, and talk with state DOT reps. This is happening next Wednesday, March 12th, 4 to 8 at Whitesboro Middle School. Governor Hochul sat down with farmers to talk tariffs today. The state agricultural
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're tracking much warmer temperatures along with rainfall. The combination of melting snow and rain could lead to localized flooding tomorrow, especially north of the Mohawk Valley. We have a flood watch in effect for Oneida County. Live looking downtown Utica, we've got some thin clouds in place and a temperature of 43 degrees. I wanted to briefly mention this. There's some very minor solar activity taking place now and a little bit of northern lights activity to the north. If we are fortunate enough to get any thinning in the clouds over the next couple of hours, it might be worth taking a peek to the north later this evening. In case we might have some activity, a little bit of northern lights, at least a chance. As we move forward, the clouds will thicken up tonight and some rain is on the way, so our window for that's pretty small. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, looking pretty quiet for now. We're keeping an eye on river gauges. Right now, no concerns here, but that's going to change as the rivers and streams start to rise with snow melt. We will be watching for the possibility of ice jams tomorrow as temperatures climb to near 50 degrees. Any streams that have a thick layer of ice that's going to melt and it could break apart, which potentially causes ice jams. These are very difficult to predict, but it is a possibility here tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Sky watchers, 43 in Whitesboro, 34 in Forestport, 40 degrees in Cassville, 39 in Fairfield, Westford checking in with 43. Low pressure swings in from the west. This is a rainmaker for tomorrow, along with bringing in warmer temperatures. Temperatures climb into the 40s, into the upper 40s tomorrow morning. Widespread rain is expected to arrive right before daybreak. Your morning commute looks like a soaker. Temperatures will continue to climb throughout the day. We'll be close to 50 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Rain continues throughout the majority of the day. We'll get some breaks in the rain tomorrow evening, but another round arrives tomorrow night. This could produce a few rumbles of thunder as a cold front moves through. Temperatures will start to fall in the wake of that. We'll see rain showers switch over to snow showers as we head into Thursday, with winds picking up from the west. Rainfall total is expected to be about a ½ inch to an inch of rain region-wide. We're thinking 1 to 2 inches of snow melt will be on top of this rain, which again could cause some issues across our area. We will continue to keep you posted. Cloudy skies tonight, low temperature of 39. Tomorrow, periods of rain, breezy, a high of 50. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. We cool down as we head into the end of the week. The windiest day looks to be Friday, 36 degrees, a few lake effect snow showers. Saturday looks dry for Heart Run. Don't forget, we spring ahead as we head into the weekend. Warmer temperatures by Tuesday.
All right, good deal. Bill, thank you. Still ahead here, a local duo has decided to become
News with Jason Pallas.
Good evening, everyone. We'll get to those stories in just a moment. First, though, we have flood watches in place for tomorrow. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. So what's the deal for the time on this?
This rain's going to be with us most of the day. Yep. The flooding concerns will come in stages. The Pondian Ruways will happen pretty quickly. That'll be during the afternoon time. The chance for river flooding takes place later. I think this could be more of a tomorrow night thing.
Okay.
So we have a couple of things to watch here. The biggest one is how much snow melts. How quickly does it melt? We think with temperatures close to 50, it could melt very quickly in spots. And the most likely spot of seeing any issues is going to be where the snow is heaviest, which is north of the Mohawk Valley. There's literally feet and feet of snow on the ground still in northern Oneida and southern Lewis County. And again, a lot of this is, or at least some of this is going to melt tomorrow. Not all of it, of course. 42 degrees is the current temperature. It is above freezing. It will stay above freezing tonight. Temperatures will be in the low 40s. We're looking at dry weather for now, but some rain will be moving in as we head into late tonight, first thing tomorrow morning. Temperatures again settling back. We'll be close to 50 tomorrow. That's the day where a lot of this snow starts to melt. It does cool down as we head towards the weekend, so things will start to freeze over again as we head towards the weekend. Tonight, temperatures will be in the upper 30s to low 40s, cloudy skies. We are tracking rainfall as we head into tomorrow. Look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
All right, you heard Bill. Flood watch is in effect. News Channel 2's Kirk Tupai tells us what local municipalities have been doing to prepare for the potential flooding.
There are several areas around central New York that are prone to flooding. The village of Whitesboro has been affected by early winter thaws in the past, especially at the CSX bridge off Main Street. Whitesboro Mayor Glenn Hopsicker has been keeping a close eye on the Sequoia Creek and is taking early precautions.
We've been watching to make sure there's no ice jams, which there are not. We drove down there the last few days to make sure there's no logs underneath the CSX bridge, which CSX also has got a long stick on standby in case something did happen for us there, and we also have DOT on standby.
The mayor isn't just focusing on the Sequoia Creek and has crews taking action to make sure the village is ready for a quick thaw.
Our DPW has already started clearing out the storm drains. The fire department obviously is always ready in the PD, but we're lucky that we had a little bit of a warm spell last week, and the cold nights have been helping us, and I think it's going to be we're going to be in good shape in Whitesboro.
Utica's DPW has been working to clear areas that are prone to flooding, and the commissioner says there are things the public can do to help prevent flooding.
If they're available to get in front of their house with a catch basin, shovel it off so the water can flow into it, would be great.
DPW workers will continue opening up as many catch basins as possible and clearing snow from areas of concern. But with rain and warm weather on the way, there's likely going to be some areas that can't handle the amount of water expected.
I'm sure there will be some areas that are flooding. Our guys will be out there of all parts of the city tomorrow, checking on the flooding and cleaning off catch basins in all the areas where the flooding happens.
If you do see areas starting to flood within the city of Utica, you're asked to call the DPW at 315-738-1341, and they'll respond as fast as they can. In Utica, I'm Kirk Tupai reporting for News Channel 2.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are taking a live look at downtown Utica. Temperatures are above freezing tonight, which means the snow melt will continue. It's really going to ramp up tomorrow as we climb into the upper 40s, the humidity increases, and the winds start to pick up. Those are key ingredients that can hasten the snow melt, and they all come together tomorrow. In addition to that, we do have some rain on the way. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's quiet. We are keeping a close eye on area streams and rivers. So far, nothing to report tonight, but of course, things haven't really taken place yet. We're expecting widespread rain tomorrow. And if we do have any flooding issues, they're likely going to be later in the day. It takes a little time for that water to go to where it's supposed to. Ice jams are possible tomorrow. That's kind of one of the wild cards we're watching as the ice breaks apart on area streams and rivers. It can sometimes get caught in spots. The odds of this happening are relatively low, but it is possible as we get temperatures in the 50s tomorrow. Don't forget, this is the weekend where the clocks change. We spring ahead 1 hour Saturday night, and that means the daylight changes. We get more daylight at the end of the day at the expense of the beginning of the day. So the sunrise today is about 6:30. By next Sunday, it'll be almost 7:30. But we also get a lot of brightness towards the end of the day. We see a 6 o'clock sunset become a 7 o'clock sunset. Lots of rain on the way. As we look at the radar and satellite image, this rain will be arriving by tomorrow morning. Your morning commute looks like a soaker. Temperatures will be above freezing throughout the day. We'll climb into the mid to upper 40s. Rain will continue for most of the day, winding down in the evening. Another round of rain arrives with a cold front. This could produce some thunder tomorrow night as the front moves through. Temperatures will start to cool off. The winds pick up. Rain showers turn over to snow showers as we head into Thursday. Rainfall amounts about a ½ inch to an inch of rain is expected with this weather system. We combine that with about 1 to 2 inches of snow melt, and we, again, could have some issues here. Not looking like a major problem, but again, we'll continue to keep you posted. Cloudy tonight, low temperature of 39. Tomorrow, periods of rain, breezy, 50 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Showers here on Thursday. The winds pick up Friday. It turns colder. Lake effect snow showers 36. Dry on Saturday, partly sunny. Temperatures in the 30s Sunday and Monday. We'll start to warm up again looking ahead to Tuesday. We'll be right back.